a classic 1969 romantic comedy that's funny, surprising, and full of hidden gems. Cactus Flower. This movie starred Walter Matthau, Ingrid Bergman, and a breakout performance by Goldie Hawn that would earn her an Academy Award. But there's so much more beneath the surface of this quirky film than most people realize. Let's explore 20 hidden facts you probably never knew about Cactus Flower. 1. It started on Broadway long before it hit the screen. Before it ever became a film, Cactus Flower was a smash hit on Broadway. The original play, written by A. Burroughs and based on a French farce, opened in 1965 and ran for 1,234 performances, nearly 3 years before the film adaptation began development. The stage production was so successful that it practically begged Hollywood to turn it into a movie, and that theatrical energy lingered in the movie's rhythm and timing. 2. The Broadway cast included big names you'd recognize. Believe it or not, the original Broadway version starred Lauren Bacall as Stephanie and Barry Nelson as Julian, very different stars from the film cast. So when the movie was cast, expectations were high but changed dramatically, which leads to our next fact. 3. Lauren Bacall was upset she didn't get the film role. Here's a juicy piece of Hollywood lore. When producers bought the rights, Bacall assumed she'd transition to the film version. But Columbia Pictures chose Ingrid Bergman instead. Bacall was reportedly furious and even said, "I hate that woman," referring to Bergman. So right from the start, there was some real-world drama behind the scenes.
Funny how whenever people hurt your feelings, they're always doing it for your own good.
4. Ingrid Bergman was nervous about doing comedy. Bergman had been one of Hollywood's great dramatic actresses for decades, but she hadn't made a Hollywood film on American soil in over 20 years by the time Cactus Flower began production. Comedy wasn't her usual genre, and she initially thought she might be too old or not funny enough, but she absolutely made the role her own. What many don't know is this was truly a comeback of sorts for her in American studio film comedy. 5. It was Goldie Hawn's first major film role. While Goldie Hawn had been a TV personality on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, Cactus Flower was her first big movie role, and she didn't just do well, she won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. That's a pretty big jump from TV sketch comedy to Academy Award-winning motion picture star. 6. And she shot the movie around her TV schedule. Goldie was still appearing regularly on Laugh-In while filming the movie. Production had to work around her daytime shoots for the TV show and nighttime TV tapings, so she could be in both. Talk about commitment. 7. Walter Matthau negotiated co-star approval. Walter Matthau wasn't just playing the lead, he had co-star approval on casting, meaning he had influence over who starred opposite him. That wasn't always common at the time, and it showed how much power he had after recent hits like The Odd Couple. 8. Matthau originally wanted a different Stephanie. At one point, Matthau wanted Lee Grant to play Stephanie, the role Ingrid Bergman would eventually make memorable. But scheduling conflicts and studio choices led to Bergman's casting, and honestly, could you imagine it any other way?
There have been.
Well, Doctor, I am no sex goddess, but I haven't spent my life in a tree.
9. The film was shot on location in New York City. Unlike many comedies of the era that were filmed primarily on studio lots, Cactus Flower features plenty of real New York locations, especially around Greenwich Village and Manhattan. Those streets and shops help give the movie an authentic late 60s feel that studio sets just can't replicate. 10. The record store scene is full of Easter eggs. In the record store where Tony works, there's a customer holding an album, and that album is actually the original cast recording of Mame. This wasn't random, it was a clever homage to Gene Saks' Broadway work, since he had directed the Broadway musical Mame. 11. Matthau's kids appear in a scene. The kids you see behind a classic car in one scene? Those are actually Walter Matthau's real children, David and Jenny Matthau. How fun is that, a real family cameo? 12. The title symbolizes transformation. The cactus flower, itself a plant that blooms in harsh conditions, symbolizes Stephanie's transformation from shy, quiet nurse to confident woman. That visual metaphor wasn't just poetic, it was central to how the characters evolve emotionally throughout the story. 13. The movie scored big and unexpectedly. Despite being a romantic screwball comedy, Cactus Flower became one of the top-grossing films of 1969, ranking in the top 10 for the year. That was huge for a genre typically overshadowed by action or musicals in that era. 14. Quincy Jones composed the score. Yes, Quincy Jones, legendary composer and producer, scored the film and brought in a mix of pop and jazz-infused tracks, including instrumental versions of songs like I'm a Believer. His eclectic soundtrack gives the movie a stylish, playful 60s vibe that almost feels like another character in the film.
That I wanted to tell you, it's about me and my,
Your wife?
15. Some ending plot details were changed from the play. The film stayed mostly true to the play, but screenwriter I.L. Diamond, known for collabs with Billy Wilder, widened the story to work cinematically rather than theatrically. That meant more location scenes, more jazz club energy, and a sharper, movie-proof structure that opened up the characters beyond the stage. 16. The film inspired several international remakes. Cactus Flower * didn't just stay in Hollywood. It was remade several times around the world, including an Egyptian version and later English-language adaptations. The concept clearly has universal appeal. 17. Goldie Hawn's Oscar was actually accepted by someone else. Goldie Hawn didn't attend the Academy Awards ceremony when she won. Her Oscar for Best Supporting Actress was accepted on her behalf by Raquel Welch. Even so, Cactus Flower remains Hawn's only Oscar win to date. 18. Critics were divided, but audiences loved it. Critics gave mixed reviews, some praising the performances, others calling it contrived, but audiences flocked to see it, and over time, it's become a beloved classic. That contrast between reviewers and fans is part of what makes Cactus Flower such an interesting film to revisit today.
A minute, Buster. Now, if I hear that you've been bothering Stephanie again, I'll knock all your teeth out.
You'll just have to put him back in again.
19. Ingrid Bergman and Walter Matthau had unexpected chemistry. On paper, Bergman, a dramatic classic Hollywood star, and Matthau, a gruff comic actor, seemed like an odd pairing. But in practice, their dynamic added a richness and warmth that lifted the comedy beyond its basic premise. Their chemistry helps make the romantic arc feel more genuine. 20. The dance and disco scene is a time capsule. One of the most memorable scenes is when Bergman, Hawn, and Rick Lentz's characters dance in a nightclub to jumpy instrumental pop. That scene isn't just funny, it's a time capsule of late 60s culture, complete with psychedelic music, dance crazes, and the energy of youth culture entering mainstream film. It's one of those moments that helps the film stand out from other dated comedies of the era. And there you have it, 20 hidden facts about Cactus Flower, 1969, that make this film even more fascinating than it seems on the surface. From Broadway origins to Hollywood drama, from Oscar surprises to symbolic storytelling, Cactus Flower isn't just a quirky rom-com, it's a piece of cinematic history blooming in its own right. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe for more movie breakdowns, and let me know in the comments what classic film you want to uncover next. Thanks for watching.